You are now watching Chilton Sports.
Smith and Amon Shumpert really changed the Cavalier offense and shaped what they were going to be through that 2015 season. Obviously, JR has amazing shot making capability. Amon Shumpert, don't want to skip past him. He was a great playmaker when he played, a great facilitator of the ball, and he really kind of picked up the slack.
He was very explosive. Like, you got two good dynamic bench players. That is needed for the reigning champion Warriors, especially with their fast-paced offense. So they need people that can keep up with them and shoot the three-point ball, because we're seeing a shift in the league just last year. So if you want to beat the champion, you gotta get up on their level to do it. And three-pointers are how you do it, because nobody was shot as many threes as they did during that time period.
And like I mentioned last episode, with Klay Thompson, somebody that can make shots to pull you out of a hole when your offense is struggling. And I feel like JR and Amon somewhat, but JR mostly, he did that for the Cavaliers. The ability of LeBron to improve his teammates.
Also, Kyrie.
Yes, Kyrie. We
can't forget that.
We'll talk about him a little bit more later on in this episode. But LeBron, he has the innate ability. He's still doing it to this day to improve his role players. Guys like Matthew Dellavedova, the Curry Stopper. That was his nickname.
Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah, Timothy Mozgov.
Shannon Fry.
Yeah, Shannon Fry. Yes, Tristan Thompson.
He was a good defensive player and rebound getter, and especially for an undersized center.
Yeah, and they were struggling early in the season, right? And then what happened?
Tyronn Lue was the interim head coach. He picked up the slack that was needed, adjusted to it mid-season, especially in a slump of games that they were in, which I say is real good, because it led to a phenomenal playoff run and a phenomenal season. The Warriors had the best record in NBA history, 73-9. Losing 9 games in a season is crazy.
And obviously, we know Kerr's system was amazing. Tyronn Lue's system, however, I feel like is looked over more so than it should have been, because Tyronn Lue comes in on a struggling Cavalier team that you didn't see a championship in their future. Whatever that dynamic, whatever Tyronn Lue did when he got to be the interim head coach for the Cavaliers, changed the course of the season.
And Draymond Green, defensive specialist.
Yep.
But the problem with Draymond Green was good. Honestly, people still to this day say cost them, the
championship.
The championship. He did not know how to keep his mouth shut and not foul people.
Nope.
So if he wasn't getting the tick, he was always doing some dirty fouling.
Yep.
If he wasn't doing that, he would get the tick. So you get too many fouls anyway, you get suspended for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, back to the Warriors. So they're dominating the entire season, right?
And everybody's just wondering who is able to stop them. So when it gets to the playoffs, there's one team everybody has in mind that can stop them, and they had the chance to shut it down. The OKC Thunder
with
Kevin Durant last year, which we'll bring up in the next
video. Yeah,
and Russell
big time.
Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
They had that series 3-1, 3-1. And then somehow they let the Warriors come back on them.
And this, I know that the OKC obviously choked, right?
Mhm.
That was a choke job. It was terrible coaching, terrible playing, or terrible performances. But I think I think there's a different way to look at it. I think this speaks to how great of a team the Warriors had. Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond. You look, they still had good bench players. I believe Barbosa and
They had Barbosa, Iguodala. was
Iguodala.
still on there.
Yes, Iguodala. And
Andrew Bogut.
yep,
I think he was still on there.
yeah, they just had a really special team, and I think them coming back from that 3-1 really speaks to the greatness of them. Because let's not forget, OKC wasn't a joke.
Mm-mm.
OKC had two of the most prolific scorers and playmakers basketball has ever seen.
And 2 future MVPs.
Yes, 2 future MVPs at that. And I've never thought about this, but I'm going to say it now. Do you think the Warriors were tired from that 7-game series?
Nah, because like if they were tired from that 7-game series,
They wouldn't have went up 3-1.
yeah, they wouldn't have won up 3-1.
There you go. My bad. That was bad.
I mean, that's a valid thing.
Yeah, I mean it's valid to think about, but you are right. They did go up 3-1. They wouldn't have went up 3-1 if they were tired.
There's no because the Cavs had it pretty easy
Mhm.
in the playoffs because I think the only team I can't necessarily remember too much from who they played, but I know for a fact during that time period they were bulldozing through Toronto.
They bulldozed through the East.
Yeah.
Like I think that was back in the time Paul George was still on the Pacers, right? Did they? I think they played the Pacers in 2016. And
hey, believe it or not, they played the Detroit Pistons.
Okay, they played. So like we said, they ran through the East.
4-0.
Because I hate to say it, but the Pistons were not very much competition.
As a matter of fact, we were both wrong. They didn't play the Pacers at all.
Really? Might have been 2015 when they played them.
Yeah, it was 2015. That's what we're thinking
Yeah.
of. First round, Cavaliers played the Pistons, swept them.
Yeah.
Next round, the Atlanta Hawks swept them. Toronto Raptors were their hardest team, but 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
They only lost 2 games. 2 games in the Eastern Conference. Let's just skip to the most important game.
Yep.
Everything shifts when Draymond Green gets suspended.
Yep.
That's when the whole thing
flips upside down.
Cause like they just lost their best defensive player. Okay, the Cavs were already on the verge of a comeback, but him getting suspended that shifted everything because that was the game where he got suspended. The game where it would have been 3-2 or 3-3.
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah. So costly mistake, costed them.
Yeah.
Costed them just because he did not know how to be a good defender. One of the players that we got to showcase that we haven't really talked about as much, but we said his name, Matthew Dellavedova, was the shining star.
He was
in that playoff run because of his defense that he had on Stephen Curry. Because you can sit here and say, yeah, Curry might have scored maybe 15 or 20 points on him, but like that's good defense.
Yeah,
that's good defense.
That's good defense on Curry. You're holding a great player to that many points, and we're talking about how good a defense he played. That just shows the impact that he had on that series. And even in 2015, he had an impact on the series. Obviously, didn't help the Cavaliers win, but he did have an impact on the series in 2015. But yeah, 2016, Dellavedova, he kind of reminds me of a Lou Dort in today's NBA or a Dylan Brooks. Not as fiery as Dylan Brooks, obviously.
Just like a good. No, I got somebody better. What's his name? Jose Alvarado.
Yes. That's the perfect comp for Matthew Dellavedova. They play the same. They're both kind of shooters. They're both playmakers.
Both kind of sneaky in a way.
Both kind of sneaky. Both really physical in their defense.
Both undersized.
Both underrated. But yeah, Game 7. They both. It starts off really. I don't. I think the Cavs started off really hot in Game 7 because it was in it was in Oakland, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in
That's
Oakland because like 7 game series.
yeah. They had
The team that had the best record had home court
yeah.
advantage.
It was in Oakland,
Which is also crazier for the Cavs to come back 3-1 because they didn't have home court advantage.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just want to throw this out there. We can continue talking about Game 7 here in a minute, but I feel like the environment of that finals was possibly the best environment of a finals that I've seen.
Just being in, Oracle Arena with the Warriors during that time period, it had to be one of the most dangerous and hardest teams to beat inside of there. That's real life, like Heisman difficulty.
And you think, it's Heisman difficulty. And you think about it as a fan, even if you're not a Warriors fan, which I hated the Warriors in 2016, or their entire dynasty. I hated it, but looking back on it now, you look at their fans and the hype that they had around them. It was
even though I think a lot of them were bandwagon,
but just thinking about it, you watch the games on TV, right, and you just hear them constantly. Anytime they went on a run, and everyone knows.
Anytime when Steph got hot.
Yeah.
And do not let Mike. What's his name? Mike Green. That's how you say it.
Mike Breen.
Yeah, Mike Breen.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang!
That kills your soul, and then you call timeout.
But let's talk about the final 4 minutes, right? We're jumping past second quarter, halftime, third quarter. We're going straight to the 3 minutes.
We're getting to
the final 4 minutes. And look, I'm ashamed to admit this, but have you ever seen that video on YouTube of the final 4 minutes of Game 7, 2016? Mm-hmm. I've watched that video probably 10 to 15 times.
Hey,
I'm not exaggerating.
That's some of the best basketball you'll ever see.
And both teams are going scoreless, right? The Warriors, the most prolific offense that the NBA has ever seen, going scoreless. Kyrie and Bron cannot create right now. They're not hitting shots. They can't create. Nobody's hitting shots right now. So they call the timeout, right? And I'm sure everyone that's watching this has seen the video where they're in the timeout and LeBron points at Kyrie and he goes, hey. He looks at Ty Lue. He's taking the shot. They come out of that timeout and the confidence in Kyrie that LeBron had and Ty Lue had, and the confidence Kyrie had to take that shot is probably unheard of. Okay, hold on. I don't want to go too deep into this, but why were both of these teams switching so much?
They're probably gassed out.
That's true, but like Curry switching on Kyrie, when is that a good matchup? Kevin Love switching on Steph Curry, when is that a good matchup?
But you also got to think, like, at that time, the Warriors were, like, setting a lot of picks. So
if
they're playing man-to-man, it's like you have to play man-to-man against
you have to switch on Curry. You have to.
So, like, those are the matchups that they wanted.
Mm-hmm. And if you get if Curry gets any kind of space, he's going to pull it automatically. So you kind of have to press up on him. But that I think that will go down as the best championship. People are going to talk crap on it because LeBron won, and people are going to talk crap on it because Kyrie has never really led a team himself to a championship run. Episode.
I will say though, this is hands down LeBron's best championship.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Because like it was needed for him to happen. This championship saved his legacy.
It did. There's no doubt. If he would have lost, the GOAT conversation would have been over years ago. It don't matter if he has the scoring record. It don't matter if he has the assist record, the rebound record. It's the GOAT conversation's over if he loses this finals. But next episode, we're going to be talking about the 2016 going into 2017.
And one of the main topics is KD.
Yeah, one of the main topics is Kevin Durant.
And we all know why.
Yep, sadly, we all know why. I don't really I still haven't forgiven Kevin Durant for his decision to go to the Warriors, leaving Russell Westbrook behind. But he did it. So
But hey, save it for the next.
yeah,
video.
I'm probably gonna get mad next podcast episode.
And in the next video, we will have a special guest.
Yeah, we will. I appreciate everybody coming out. This is Golden Sports, and we'll see y'all next episode.